talk to me about what the biggest myth that people, I guess, believe lock, stock, and barrel when it comes to copywriting for their business, like especially when it comes to conversion. What would you say is like the biggest faux pas or biggest myth?
Well, aside from not differentiating themselves, which
Yeah.
is always the number one thing, it's sounding it's relying, I can say this now, and I wouldn't have answered this the same way a year ago, but it's just
Yeah.
relying too much on AI and
Right?
thinking that that's good enough. And I see this all the time on websites because AI can only pull from what's already been written or done or said. And
Hmm.
sure, there's a lot of it, but I use AI, to do research, brainstorm. But when it comes to writing, it's always comes down to me. I will never just cut. I mean, why would I? I'm a copywriter. I better not be doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the biggest thing is not finding what makes you different and also not being clear in your messaging. In
Hmm.
fact, I have five parameters I use to measure like a value proposition. So maybe this is helpful.
Yeah.
And I wish there was a cool acronym, but there isn't for it. So I actually have it written down. I have it in front of me because I can't remember it all the time. It should be unique.
Hmm.
It should be desirable, so people should want it. It should be specific. And this a lot of times is trying to just not put everything into one sentence because your value prop really should be one sentence.
Hmm.
Have it be clear. So that's related to specific, but clear is a little bit different. So specific is like with me with the niche, and then clear is the message, and then memorable. You think about ads that you remember from even your childhood. I mean, those are things that like stick with you. And that's the ideal value prop that you want. And so what I do is I take like when I first start working with a client, I always highly recommend that they have me do a value proposition audit because that's a foundation for everything. And then when I'm writing for them, I will constantly go back to that value prop. Is this in response? Does this make sense? And that's just really the foundation. Just such a giant mistake that companies make. And and just the AI that it's not clear or memorable. And I have some examples I can give you for ones I actually created
I would
to
love
show
that
you.
actually. Yeah, please.
Because the thing is too to keep in mind that the value propositions, it's not something you just sit around, especially if you're sitting in a boardroom and you're just trying to conjure up things. I call that, and I've heard this, it's not my term, but it's inhaling each other's fumes. Like everyone's inhaling. Oh, that's a great idea. There's no outside input.
Wow.
And that's what you need because you want somebody to really see. So I get hired for this. It takes me sometimes 4 to 6 weeks to come up with a value prop.